Happy Friday and welcome to this week's episode of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young and we had a pretty busy week, so I'll get right to it. I covered a good amount of the Wimbledon tournament last week and the results are in. For the men's singles, top-ranked Jannik Sinner defeated two-time defending champion Carlos Alcaraz on Sunday to win his first Wimbledon championship. Sinner's win came exactly 5 weeks after their famous, or infamous, depending on how you look at it, final match in the French Open that lasted about 5.5 hours. That championship round saw Alcaraz come from behind to beat Sinner, but the final round at Wimbledon went very differently, and Jannik Sinner is now a Wimbledon champion, earning his fourth career Grand Slam title. This was the 23-year-old's fourth consecutive time reaching the final round of the prestigious tournament, and now he is the first Italian player to win a Wimbledon singles title. Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz are currently the top two men's players in the world. They have combined to win the past 7 Grand Slam trophies and 9 of the past 12. So, safe to say, the future of men's tennis is in great hands, and it appears these two will be competing for trophies very frequently down the road. For the women's side, I mentioned last week that American Amanda Anisimova, the underdog 13 seed, made her way to the final round at Wimbledon. Unfortunately, her road to a championship title would end in the final round. Iga Świątek, the 24-year-old from Poland and the number 1 seed in this bracket, absolutely dominated in the championship round. She lost just 1 set en route to her first ever Wimbledon title. In fact, she had never made it past the quarterfinal round until this year. Now, Świątek is the 8th women's player and only active one to win a major title on all 3 surfaces: grass, clay, and the hard courts. She also earned her 100th major win in her 120th career match, becoming the fastest woman to 100 major match wins since Serena Williams, who reached the mark in 116 matches at the 2004 US Open. So for both the men and women, congratulations to the 2 brand new Wimbledon champions. Another exciting couple of events from this week were the Home Run Derby and the MLB All-Star Game. On Monday night, Seattle Mariners star catcher Cal Raleigh, who currently leads the MLB with 38 home runs and 82 RBIs, became the first catcher in history to win the Home Run Derby as he outlasted Tampa Bay Rays infielder Junior Caminero in the final round. Raleigh hit 18 home runs in the final round, while Caminero hit 15. The most exciting moment of the night, though, is when Raleigh almost lost in the first round of the Derby. Raleigh and Athletics outfielder Brent Rooker tied in the first round when they each hit 17 home runs. The tiebreaker came down to who hit the furthest home run. Raleigh's longest ball went 470.61 feet, while Rooker's went 470.53 feet, meaning Raleigh narrowly avoided elimination in the first round by less than an inch. He would finish the night with a total of 54 home runs. Another highlight of the night came from O'Neal Cruz. The 6'7", 220-pound outfielder from the Pittsburgh Pirates showed off his strength in the first round, blasting a 513-foot home run. Most home runs in Major League Baseball averaged around 400 feet. Cruz finished his night hitting balls an average of 447 feet. The excitement carried into Tuesday night when the American League and National League squared off for the 94th edition of the MLB All-Star Game. The NL started off the scoring when Ketel Marte hit a double in the bottom of the first inning, driving in both Shohei Ohtani and Ronald Acuna Jr., making the score 2-0. After 2 home runs in the bottom of the 6th, the NL was up by a staggering 6-0. However, after several RBIs by Brent Rooker, Bobby Witt Jr., Jacob Wilson, and Stephen Kwan in the 7th and 9th innings, the AL clawed their way back and tied the game at 6-6. No runs were scored in the bottom of the 9th, so for the first time in history, the All-Star Game was headed to a swing-off. Thanks to a rule change 3 years ago, baseball unveiled its version of penalty kicks in soccer or a shootout in hockey. Break a tie after 9 innings via a home run derby-style swing-off. The rules were pretty simple. NL manager Dave Roberts and AL manager Aaron Boone selected 3 players and 1 alternate to take 3 swings. The team with the most home runs wins the game. Philadelphia slugger Kyle Schwarber, who had not recorded a single hit in the game, homered on all 3 of his swings to bring home a win for the National League. Despite his 0-hit performance in the actual game itself, Schwarber was named MVP of the All-Star Game. Across all major sports, the All-Star Games have grown fairly stale in the past few years. But this game, plus the new implementation of the swing-off rule, reminded fans of how All-Star Games should be. No consequences, but still competitive and overall a lot of fun. Also this week, one of the oldest and most prestigious sport tournaments in the world began. The 153rd Open Championship, this year held at the Royal Portrush Golf Club in Northern Ireland, teed off on Thursday morning. Golf's biggest names like Scottie Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, Jon Rahm, and Jordan Spieth, and Cameron Young are all looking at fairly good odds to win at this major event. Like I said, this event began yesterday and will run through Sunday, so don't miss out on any of the action to see who will emerge victorious this year. As per usual, even though it's the heart of the offseason, the NFL is still making headlines. And, like every offseason, new record-breaking contracts are being signed. On Tuesday, the New York Jets and star cornerback Sauce Gardner agreed to terms on a 4-year extension worth $120 million, including over $65 million guaranteed. The two-time All-Pro now becomes the NFL's highest-paid cornerback based on average salary per year, since he will be making $30.1 million annually. Gardner made an immediate impact when he was drafted in 2022, capturing NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year honors. He's the only cornerback since 1970 to be named first-team All-Pro in each of his first 2 seasons. The only 2 other defensive players that have pulled that off are former New York Giants legend Lawrence Taylor and Dallas Cowboys pass rusher Micah Parsons. The Gardner announcement came just 24 hours after the Jets agreed to terms with wide receiver Garrett Wilson. On Monday, Wilson signed a 4-year, $130 million extension with New York, making him one of the highest-paid receivers in the NFL. The deal includes $90 million guaranteed, the 4th most in a wide receiver's contract. It marks the first time in NFL history that a receiver has received an average of over $31 million after playing only 3 seasons. The $32.5 million average in his new deal is the 5th highest among NFL receivers. Wilson posted career highs last season in receptions with 101, receiving yards with over 1,100, and touchdowns with 7. And he became one of only 5 players in NFL history to surpass 1,000 receiving yards and 80 receptions in each of his first 3 seasons. The Kansas City Chiefs had a historic day earlier this week as well. Right guard Trey Smith agreed to a 4-year, $94 million contract extension with the Chiefs, a record-setting deal that makes him the highest-paid interior lineman in league history. Smith's deal includes $70 million guaranteed, the most guaranteed money ever awarded to an NFL guard. Smith has started 80 of the 81 games of his career to this point and was selected for his first-ever Pro Bowl last season. There's one NFL superstar that's still waiting for his massive contract. Washington Commanders star wide receiver Terry McLaurin has made his frustrations known, stating that there's been a lack of progress toward a contract extension with the Commanders. McLaurin is in the final year of a 3-year, $68 million extension he signed back in 2022. He's been Washington's top receiver since entering the NFL as a 3rd-round pick in 2019 and has topped 1,000 yards for 5 consecutive seasons. While an argument could be made that McLaurin is going to be 30 next year, he's coming off of the best season of his career. He posted a career-best 13 touchdowns, which was the 2nd most in the NFL. He caught 82 passes for 1,096 yards and was named to his 2nd Pro Bowl, and in fact, he hasn't missed a single game since the 2020 season. On top of all that, with Offensive Rookie of the Year Jaden Daniels at quarterback, the Commanders were just 1 game away from a Super Bowl appearance last season. I expect in the coming weeks, we'll get the announcement that McLaurin and the Commanders have reached another record-setting deal. With all of that said, enjoy your weekend full of a myriad of different sports. Come right back next Friday for more news, updates, and highlights from all across the sports world. I'm Cole Young. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next time.